leveraging ChatGPT allows you to move from incremental change over time to breakthrough change in your results. AI tools like ChatGPT are literally revolutionizing aspects of marketing that, if utilized well, can make you extremely effective and increase your results. So we've been talking about targeting and segmenting for years, literally for years, and showing the results you can get from targeting and segmenting and increasing those results. That's what our software helps you do, everything. Guess what we want to do is really show you how you can truly build relationships and become the choice that your leads want to do business with. Pay attention today, and you're going to be ahead of the game. So ChatGPT presents businesses with the opportunity to make it easier to implement best practices, expanding on what is possible. Or, and this is the ugly part that we're not recommending today, but a lot of marketers and businesses are going to do this, create more crap and inundate audiences with it, wondering why you're still not engaging your audience as well, because you'll just be able to do it faster. The truth of the matter is that what you've got to be careful of is that ChatGPT is a double-edged sword. And we're going to show it to you, illustrate the power of how you can leverage it. And our intent is to have you start to experiment with using it in a good and effective way to elevate your result.
If anybody wants to add in their business description real fast, I'm still looking at them, but I think right now we are going to, for some reason, I want to talk to Angela. I want Fermano Foods. Their primary customers are food service customers selling canned beans, tomatoes, and ancient grains. How about that for a fun one to start out with?
Okay.
So food service customers, and Angela, just go ahead and answer me in the Q&A if you would. Are your primary customers are people who are buying canned beans, tomatoes, and ancient grains? Is that right?
In the food service niche, yeah?
Yep, food service niche. But and their customers buy specialty products is what I'm getting here, like restaurant operators, selling to restaurant operators, to our specialty products, including ancient grains. Yeah. And we're sorry you're having to watch Kim type, but we pasted as much as we could here. Maybe we could let Angela speak. Would that be okay with you, Angela? I just pressed allow to talk. If you're open to that, go ahead and jump in.
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
We sell to a variety of different restaurants. So it could be colleges and universities, different restaurants, whether they're chains or independents. It could be your K through 12 schools.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about that? So I could get this, I could not, this might be able to be improved on, but basically there's the question. Let's see what they say. Okay, so here's some niches. These are some topics that you could talk about. The health benefits of incorporating ancient grains into restaurant menus, the history and cultural significance of various ancient grains, unique recipes that feature ancient grains as a main ingredient, sustainability practices within the ancient grains industry. So it really did harp in on the ancient grains thing because we gave it that right here. Okay. Yep. So, and then
Angela, be sure you screenshot that.
Okay. So then, so that's one question. Then let's just look at, let's just take this a little bit further, right? So let's say we want to know, what questions do people ask about this first topic, the health? I'll just take topic 1 about that. And here's questions that people ask. These are informational questions, so you think top of the funnel. Top of the funnel. And we might say, what are some common, what are ancient grains and how are they different from modern grains? What are the health benefits of eating ancient grains and how do they compare to other grains? Now you're talking specifically to restaurateurs, like people who own restaurants. So you might want to ask this slightly differently, right? But look at the questions. Now, think about a content strategy. Think about getting ranked for SEO and search results. think about, so now that's just for one topic. You could enter that in for each one, but this is informational kinds of topics. Now let's look at what would indicate some kind of buying intent kinds of questions. And this is related to the health benefits. So in that one topic, we want to know what are things that indicate buying intent in there. So here's some questions. Where can I find restaurants that offer dishes? Are there any local suppliers? Yes, here's a buyer's guide. No, by the way, we're number one in that. How can I incorporate ancient grains in my existing restaurant menu? Blah, blah, blah. So here's more questions, more buying intent questions. So now we've got top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel on that one topic. Interesting?
Well, and now you take it and expand on it, right? So obviously this is a specific to Angela, but think about it for each of the niches, each of the business descriptions you put in here. Think about how you can take these and expand. So now if you're talking to K through 12 institutions, what are the health benefits for growing people to have ancient grains incorporated into their diet? Okay,
right.
Think about how you can expand on this all the way along. The point is that you can't see ChatGPT as a replacement for you. It's not. It is not a replacement for the institutional knowledge that you have, for the brain power that you have, for all the good stuff about your business that's in your head. It's an assistant.
That's right. So I want you to really look at ChatGPT as an assistant. And you've got to be sure to set the stage. So the first thing we did, I'm going to review what we did. We set the stage with ChatGPT. We said, assume you're a business owner of a company that does this, and you're starting a blog to attract people to your coaching, served products, whatever. And please provide me a list of underserved blog topics in your niche. Okay, so that's the recipe that we use to get those underserved blog topics. So notice that word, underserved, because you don't want to do what everyone else is doing. You want to stand out. Okay. So this is one way to do that. And then continue with ChatGPT for each topic. What questions do people ask? Insert topic. You'll get top of funnel informational questions. Okay. If you want more, you could say, are there more? And it'll give you 10 more or 20 more, whatever. You can ask for that. Just, are there more? Get a bunch if you want more than 10. And then get bottom of the funnel buying intent kinds of questions. Please provide me with questions that have buying intent. So we wanted to show you this because it gives you an idea of how quickly you could come up with segments and the topics you can address in those sub-segments so you can engage people better. So we always are talking about segments. So, and one of the things, we've run 3-hour workshops before with people just on segments, and they are hard pressed to come up with what their real segments are. This makes it easy, okay? It doesn't replace you and your secret sauce. What it does is it augments it, okay? All right. So now we're going to show you the ugly, what to just watch out for, and please don't do this. And here it is. We have now asked blog or ChatGPT, I need an 800-word blog post about bicycle safety. Can you help? And sure, I can help. Here you go. Here is a blog post, 800 words. What do you got to watch out for, Margaret?
Well, first of all, you've got to watch out for the fact that ChatGPT is built on all the information it can find everywhere. And so as of 2020. As of 2020. And it's using that information, but none of it's in your voice. None of it's in your personality. And oh, by the way, a lot of what it comes up with might be stuff that you don't even talk about. For example, maybe I want an 800-word blog post about bicycle safety, but my business is selling knee pads and helmets. Do I really need to have stay focused is one of the things I talk about. I'm kind of waffling on my examples here, but you get the point that I've just told it, hey, give me what you know without telling it what I know, without giving it any context at all. And that is super dangerous. And unfortunately, a lot of marketers, when they think about ChatGPT and other AI platforms, they think, I'm just going to go tell it to write something for me, and then I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'll be done.
And writing a blog post like that and putting it into your blog is against Google's terms of service. So if they figure it out, your site will be banned. So you just want to be very cognizant of what you're doing with that. Okay, so this is what we recommend instead. So here's what we recommend instead. I'm going to give you the steps and I'm going to show them to you. So educate ChatGPT, input your own sales page, blog post, audio, or webinar or video transcript. Say you want to write a blog post, but you're not a writer, but boy, you could talk for 3 minutes into an audio recorder on your phone. Do that, save it, get a transcript, give it up to ChatGPT and work from that. Now you're incorporating your own thinking, your own brain power, your own perspective and flavor is going to be brought in. Ask them for assistance. You do that, then ask them. And make the changes that make sense to an existing blog, if that's the case, or round out the blog that they write for you with more information and context, link it into your other blog posts, create that interlinking, do those sorts of things, but bring your own flavor into it, okay? So let's now show you that over here. And I'll show you what I did. We have a new, let me get all the way back up to the top. It always brings you to the bottom of a chat. And oh, by the way, when you do a new chat, you start building topics within that chat. And so I can keep entering here and it'll build off of all the stuff I've given it up until then. So when you start a new chat, you got to do all that education. If I keep a chat open and I keep educating it, it learns as it goes. It's very cool. So here's this is my whole transcript for a little video that we did on our Marketing Nerdcast YouTube channel. And it gives me this great little, buttering me up thing about, hey, great video. And then I said, can you write a snappy and enrolling description for the video that will make people want to watch it? Now, here's the thing about this. You're going to want to pay attention to your adjectives, and you're going to want to get a whole bunch of adjectives that you can use for it to give you stuff that's, what are some other ones, Margaret? We got snappy, enrolling.
Clickable.
Yes.
Engaging.
Yes. So you want to think about all of those sorts of things. And so then it comes to, are you struggling to get the right content for your marketing campaigns? Are you tired of lackluster engagement and dismal results? Okay. And this right here is what I think made it into, or no, that was the first one. And then I said, can you provide another variation? So don't be afraid. Remember, ChatGPT is my assistant. So, hey, give me another option. Thanks. So, yep, sure. Happy to help. Here, and I think this is the one that made it in. And then I said, here's it is. I said, can you write a blog post based on this video? Again, pulling from the video, and sure, here it is. How to use segmenting to improve engagement and generate better returns. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just 241 words.
Now, Kim, you actually published that blog post in some fashion, didn't you?
I did. I put it right over here and I made it a little bit longer and I added interlinking. I added different pieces that weren't there, some more content to better contextualize it. And in conclusion and all that. And then I invited people to our YouTube channel and I embedded the video that is right on our channel that this is actually pulled from. So that's something that you can do. And that is a much better use of ChatGPT because you're getting your own secret sauce in there. It actually sounds like you in many ways, but gives you different phraseology. Okay.
Kim,
yep.
Go back to it and give somebody, anonymous attendee, the prompt, the very first prompt that you put in up at the top. Here's a transcript of a new video that I'm posting on our YouTube Marketing Nerdcast channel, and then dump the transcript right in there.
Yep. Now you can use this same strategy. I know we have some social media folks on here. You could use the same strategy and say, write me a 6-part Twitter post or however many parts you want based on that transcript, and boom, you would have it in seconds. So you can do all kinds of things like that. It does descriptions, it does all of that. And we'll show you a little bit more of that, but you can really use it, but use your own goodness. Don't circumvent your own knowledge of your topic and the way that you come at it. Every business comes at things differently, just like we come at marketing automation completely differently than, say, a HubSpot or other tools, a Marketo or what have you. We come at it completely differently in the way that we actually built our product and what it actually allows you to do. And it took me a while to realize we are very different, and all of them are somewhat different, right? So
hey, we got a great question. I think it's the right time to interject this question real fast. And it comes from Angela. Thank you for this. Do you have to source your info? How do you avoid being plagiarist? How much do you need to change the responses? So this is a great question, because I'm going to tell you that if 5 different people said, give me an 800-word blog post on bicycle safety, and just copied and pasted that in, you'd probably end up plagiarizing each other to some degree. Here's the thing. ChatGPT and other tools have been put through plagiarism checkers, and where there's been a plagiarism score, it's been less than 5%. You're going to drop that even more when you give it your stuff and ask it to help you improve it, versus asking it to write original content for you. And that's really key. The good about ChatGPT is that you can give it your content and ask for help. The bad and the ugly are, hey, ChatGPT, write original content about this thing with no guidance whatsoever. And that's when you're going to get in trouble, as Kim said, with Google. But you could also find yourself unintentionally saying exactly what everybody else in your industry is saying. So you've got to use it for inspiration, not to replace your perspiration. I felt an urge to rhyme right then. I'm not quite sure why.
Okay, so let's continue, because we've got limited time.
All right.
And we're going to continue to go and keep asking your questions, guys. This is awesome.
Here's the deal, okay? We have had a survey in market for about 6 weeks. And the survey is all about what's happening for marketers in 2023. And people from a variety of industries have answered this survey. But one of the key questions is, what do you think are the things that are going to move the needle in terms of you meeting your goals in 2023? Far and away, the winners of the list we provided are lead generation and improved content strategy. So guess what we did? We used that survey information that we gathered to do a little whammy jammy on you guys. Because some of you got an email that was focused on lead generation. Some of you got an email that was focused on content strategy. And some of you got an email that was focused on a blend of the two. And guess what? I had ChatGPT help me write those emails. And Kim, I think you've got this queued up here. Why don't you go ahead and take us through it? It's right in your slides. Just go to the slides, is fine.
Okay, we'll do the slides. So we wanted to use email copy ideas for this. So Margaret went in and she asked ChatGPT for people focused on content strategy, what would be a good email? So it came up with this email that's on your left. And she didn't take it lock, stock, and barrel. What she did was incorporate it into the email that actually went out. So this is
by the way,
right, is what went out.
ChatGPT loves long paragraphs, and I'm going to tell you, don't put long paragraphs in your email. You see how the difference between the text blocks is between the two? That's kind of important.
Because most people read on a mobile, and so a longer paragraph actually looks really long on mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just too much text together.
Right.
Would be that rationale. But anyway, so that's this one. Anything more you want to say about this one, Margaret?
No, but thank you to everyone who responded to this.
Okay. Then we said for lead gen, people that have that lead generation want to increase their lead gen focus. And it certainly did. It gave us what's on the left. Margaret incorporated it into actually what went out on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And this one produced quite a few webinar registrations. Actually, I'd have to look at the actual statistics again to remember. And then this one went out for people that had either one. We didn't know which one was more prominent for them, so they got this one. Here's what ChatGPT said to say. Here's what we sent out. And that one actually got really, really good results. And we also, you'll notice, asked it for subject line suggestions, and we used that top one. I will tell you that when we come out, we've asked people for email, how many subject lines do you come out? You'll work for hours on the content of your email, and then you'll slap a subject line on it in like 10 seconds. And yet that's what it leads to, the opening of your email, which would have people read it in the first place. One of the most important things of your email. And ChatGPT, when you enter your copy and you say where you're going to take people, and you get that, and then you say what could be a good set title, a snappy and engaging, clickable title for the email, and you give them the email you're thinking about, and they rewrite that, or they help you think that through, you can come up with 5, 10, 15 different subject line options that give you, out of your head, give you something to look at differently than what you come up with. That in and of itself will improve your email open rate.
Yeah,
Okay.
so somebody's asking if we saw improved responses. So yes. Now I'm going to confess a couple things here. ChatGPT writes better subject lines than I do. I've been doing this for 100 years, folks, but ChatGPT does a great job with subject lines, without a doubt, number one. Number two, we sent out the 3 emails that Kim just showed you on Monday, yesterday. This morning, another email went out, and while I used yesterday's email as inspiration, I basically wrote it myself, and it got excellent response too. But much like I had trained ChatGPT, it also trained me. I saw what kind of response yesterday's emails were getting, took that to heart, and modified what I might have ordinarily done. And oh, by the way, yesterday I also worked with a client to write an email and pulled up ChatGPT and went through it for that particular email, sent that email out this morning, and he also got a great response. So I think it's really interesting how much ChatGPT knows about how people tend to respond to things. I think that's pretty fascinating.
Now, here's a real example too, is that we were working with another client of ours, and they had a webinar coming up. They took their sign up page, their webinar, they put it into ChatGPT and said, here's a webinar that we're going to be giving. And ChatGPT said, okay. And they said, what would you title this webinar? ChatGPT gave them some suggestions, which was they liked better than how they had come up with the title. Then they said, what would be a really great, engaging subject line to invite people to the webinar, all that. Then post-webinar, then they showed their sales page for this program they were having people register into, that's all on mindset and things. And they put the whole sales page in, and they said, well, how would you write the sales page? ChatGPT made suggestions. Here's what we would do. They made the changes to their sales page. Then they had us look at it. We offered a couple suggestions. They made those changes. This is the first time they've offered this webinar, and they had people signing up before the end of the webinar. And it's the first time that from the follow-up emails that they also went through and used ChatGPT for, that they had actual responses. This is the first time they didn't have to reach out manually to fill the program, that it was filled just from sending the emails. Well, that was their first example and experience with that kind of success for themselves. Again, they fed it with their own things and then asked for better, asked for suggestions.
And it really is a key.
Yeah.
So is it working for paid customers and not free users? Somebody's been trying to use it for the past week or so, and it's not happening. ChatGPT has become incredibly popular just in the last 3 weeks, in fact, especially since Bing, Microsoft made a big announcement that it's going to be incorporated into the new version of Bing. So people are like, oh my goodness, what is this thing? We are currently paying for a subscription to ChatGPT, and will be adding additional subscriptions.
It's $20 a month. It'll be the cheapest assistant you have ever paid for.
Exactly.
And so it's $20 a month. If you can't afford that, you can wait for Bing.
Yeah, right. Right.
But for us, it has already paid for itself in spades, and for our clients who are also exploring it. So this, again, they're using it inside of a framework for overall strategy, content strategy and engagement strategy and things like that. So they're incorporating it and using it very selectively in their overall programs for how they nurture leads, how they do lead generation, and all of that. If you go out to our Marketing Nerdcast channel, you'll see that we're talking about ways that you can incorporate this stuff. ChatGPT just gives you ways to know things that you wouldn't otherwise get out of your brain that would work as effectively.
To summarize, the good is hopefully very clear to you right now, and please drop your questions in the Q&A box, or that would be great. The good is that you can use it for inspiration, you can use it to get ideas for content, you can use it to get ideas for segments, you can use it to find underserved topics in your industry. There's so much you can do with it when you ask it the right questions. The bad is just saying, hey, give me content on this without any guidance. And quite honestly, the ugly is when you say, hey, give me topic ideas, and then you go, well, what about this topic idea? And ChatGPT tries to make you feel good about your choice and says, oh, that sounds really good, when in fact it's really terrible. Ask me how I know. I did that. Yes, I did. So you got to be careful how you use it. But when you use it the right way, it can give you breakthrough change in your marketing approach. And that is huge. And as marketers, we're all incredibly busy people. We've got to find ways to trim the time that we have to spend on things, to repurpose content, to come up with new ideas. This is the way. Did I sound like the Mandalorian right then? This is the way.
But ChatGPT, so much hype, so much going on there. And we wanted to give people a leg up on how to think about it to augment what you're doing. It's not just a research tool. It's not just, it's not going to replace people for you. It's going to actually make you smarter and make you faster. Imagine how quickly, Margaret, did it take you to come up with 3 emails for 3 different segments: content strategy people, lead gen people, and people who could go that had both of them. How long did that take?
It took practically no time at all. What took the most time was defining the segments and getting the segment set up in our system. The emails themselves, once I asked GPT for the text, it took maybe 10 minutes to put them together. So it was pretty amazing, actually.
Check out the videos there, subscribe to the channel, and any likes you can give us only help us find more of our audience. Thank you so much, and thank you for your participation, and go explore out there. I want to hear your wins. I want to hear your frustrations. Let's figure this out for the better of everyone. If you liked the video, go ahead and click that like button, then subscribe to receive notifications of new ones, and thanks for watching.